investigation into singer David has intensified after the body of a teenager was discovered in a Tesla that has been linked to him.
This whole Celeste and David case just took a turn from messed up to completely disturbing. Investigators say they've got a timeline that supposedly ties David to some questionable behavior with Celeste, but just when everyone thought things were settled, his own brother, Caleb, came forward with a shocking twist. He's claiming that the official timeline might not even be accurate. So here's what the investigators put together. They mapped out a series of events between David and Celeste that look really suspicious. Like every detail just makes him look worse. It all starts around late 2021 or early 2022 when David allegedly met Celeste online while playing Fortnite. He was reportedly in his mid-teens and she was much younger, which immediately set off alarms. The investigators didn't ignore that one bit. Then, on March 28, 2022, David dropped a track called Decide. The lyrics included the line, "Save your tears, 7 years," which some listeners believed was hinting at something inappropriate, like he was counting down years until she got older. That's just unsettling. Fast forward to September 7th, 2022, Celeste's birthday, David releases another track called Romantic. Fans started connecting the dots, and investigators took it as way too personal to be a coincidence. By October, private chat screenshots started surfacing, and that's when everything began to spiral out of control. David was seen online asking, "Is Celeste in here?" And she actually replied. Things started getting messy after that. In 2023, a Twitch clip showed the two of them joking about questionable stuff before David suddenly told her to delete the stream. That moment alone had investigators watching him closely. By February 2024, things took a serious turn when Celeste's mom officially reported her missing for the first time. Around that same time, people on social media were already calling David out, saying he was way too close to someone underage. Then, new pictures of the two together started popping up. Every time Celeste went quiet online, another image would surface showing her near David. In spring 2024, she vanished again, but returned briefly before disappearing once more. By June, she was seen at one of his shows, and by August, people online started whispering, saying things like, "Drop the one with the missing girl Celeste." The internet was connecting dots faster than investigators could keep up. Then came September 2025, when authorities made a grim discovery linked to a car registered to David. That's when the whole thing exploded. Police raided his manager's place, the label instantly dropped him, and David began deleting posts, locking down his accounts, and hiding everything he could. By that point, investigators said the timeline looked airtight. Every clue pointed straight back to him. But here's the twist. The same timeline everyone believes might seal the case is now being challenged by his brother Caleb, who claims it's not the full story. Caleb's coming forward saying all those dates and so-called receipts don't actually prove guilt. They prove someone might have set his brother up. That claim completely flips the story on its head. Right after investigators revealed their timeline, new rumors exploded online suggesting Caleb could be secretly helping the cops. People online started whispering that Caleb didn't just step away from his brother. He might be working behind the scenes with investigators. Some Reddit threads even accused him of snitching, claiming his own music hinted he knew way more about Celeste's situation than he ever admitted. If that's true, Caleb wouldn't just be a brother dropping shocking info, he'd be a key witness helping law enforcement connect the dots. In the hip-hop world, that word snitch carries serious weight. Some fans are saying it's straight up betrayal, while others call it doing the right thing. But here's where it all started. Reports began spreading that Caleb was cooperating with authorities after hearing the disturbing allegations tied to David. At the same time, online sleuths began analyzing his lyrics, claiming certain lines matched real events involving David and Celeste. Then came a blurry photo supposedly showing Caleb backstage with Celeste at one of David's shows, and that image sent the internet into chaos. People started demanding answers. Did Caleb know more than he let on? Was he silent for too long? Or is he just trying to clear his name before things get worse? For now, nothing's confirmed. Law enforcement hasn't made any official statement, but their silence is only making the rumors grow louder. Some online reports started claiming Caleb's been working directly with investigators. And once that rumor hit the internet, it spread like crazy. Whether it's based on facts or just clickbait stories chasing attention, the damage is already done. Caleb's name is officially in the mix now. But here's the real question. If he is helping the authorities, what's his motive? Is he trying to protect himself before investigators start connecting the dots to everyone in David's circle? Remember, David's manager's place has already been searched, and his label dropped him without hesitation. Everyone around him seems to be backing away fast. So Caleb showing up as the informant brother could either mean he's saving his own future or trying to make sure David takes all the heat. Things are definitely getting darker by the minute. If Caleb truly is turning over information, then all those eerie songs, strange voicemails, and even tattoos might not just be coincidences anymore. They could actually serve as the evidence that pushes this case to the next level. But before labeling Caleb a traitor or a hero, we need to talk about all the wild rumors flooding the internet. From fake leads to viral misinformation, the story's been twisted in every direction since it started. The biggest false rumor came from a viral post on X that racked up millions of views, claiming Celeste was expecting and that remains were found near David's place, which was completely untrue. That post sent shockwaves through the fan base, turning speculation into chaos. But here's the real deal. That rumor's been fully debunked. No official reports, no forensic proof, and nothing from law enforcement ever confirmed it. Just online noise that spread like wildfire because people were desperate to make sense of a dark, confusing situation. Then came the whole drama involving Celeste's aunt. And wow, this one got messy fast. Screenshots started spreading online showing her posting shoutouts and celebrating her new talent badge, almost like she was using the tragedy for online attention. Some people called it straight-up clout chasing, while others said maybe that's just her way of coping with everything. Either way, fans couldn't help but question the family situation, and the whole thing just made the story even harder to untangle. All this noise, false leads, family tension, viral posts, has made it nearly impossible to tell what's real and what's just internet chaos. On one side, investigators are quietly piecing together a serious case, and on the other, social media detectives are tossing out wild theories, half of which turn out to be totally false. It's a total circus out there. But here's the scary part. What if this chaos isn't random at all? When people flood the internet with lies, the truth gets buried. If someone did want to hide something or confuse the timeline, spreading rumors would be the easiest trick in the book. So the real question is, are these fake stories just desperate fans looking for answers, or is someone intentionally trying to twist the story and hide the truth? And here's where it gets chilling. While everyone's been distracted by online noise, the most haunting clues might have been sitting right in front of us this whole time, hidden inside David's own songs and messages. What people have found in his lyrics and texts feels less like random art and more like coded emotion. Once you start breaking down every line, voicemail, and emotional moment on stage, it all starts to sound way too personal. Let's rewind to David's past. His parents reportedly pulled him out of school and kept him homeschooled in a very strict, controlling environment. That kind of upbringing might have shaped how he expressed himself, and maybe even why his art took such a dark turn. David confirmed a lot of personal details during his dazed interview, and that's when people started digging deeper into his mindset. Some claim that even as a teenager, he had a fascination with dark and disturbing themes, things like violence and obsession, and that isolation only made it worse. Once he went viral and the money started flowing in, his parents reportedly loosened up, letting him live freely for the first time. But that new freedom mixed with his fixation on Celeste seemed to create a storm waiting to happen. To many fans, Celeste wasn't just a partner. She was at the center of David's entire emotional world. That's what made people speculate that something tragic might have happened between late October and January, around the same time he was finishing his final album. And when fans began breaking down the lyrics and interviews, that theory didn't sound so far-fetched anymore. In one interview, David said something haunting. "That's what I feel for my art. It's beautiful for a time, but temporary. My album was meant to sound like a goodbye. a step into whatever comes next. Later, in a conversation with Zach Sang, he doubled down on that message, calling his project a farewell to an old self.
This album is my life. Like, Withered is my life. Petals of Thorns and Lost Petals are what I wanted my life to be, and then Withered is my life.
Fans can't help but wonder now, was that a goodbye to his music career, or was there a deeper meaning behind it? He also spoke about the invisible string theory and the Korean concept of jong, a deep emotional bond that's hard to break even when things turn unhealthy. David once said the person who taught him this told him, "Don't leave me," but in the end, she's the one who walked away. That irony hit fans hard, especially now that every quote and lyric feels layered with meaning. Now that the person he once wrote so much about is gone from his life, people can't help but wonder if all of it ties back to Celeste. Then comes the haunting flower symbolism. His project Withered transitions into talks of a deluxe edition called Japanese Lily. In Japanese culture, the red spider lily represents separation, mourning, and the line between life and death. It blooms exactly when summer fades into fall, a symbol of change and endings. Was this just a poetic metaphor for artistic growth or a subtle nod to something darker? Fans can't stop asking that question. The biggest shock for many listeners came when they noticed Celeste's voice appearing in some of his tracks. Like "I Never Needed You" and "So Long, Goodbye." Her recorded messages sound emotional, sometimes even heartbroken, as she apologizes and talks about missing him. In one clip, she says, "You're always the one calling my phone. You have to figure out what's going on with you." It paints a picture of a girl trying to step away, and a boy who just couldn't handle the distance.
Why are you calling me?
Been
Why
dead,
do you call me
been
and
dead,
call me and say
been
you're
dead.
sorry this? And then you want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different.
Then there's the SoundCloud track Satan's Pursuit, which dropped in late 2023, and it's seriously eerie. In it, he raps about losing control and feeling haunted by his own choices, saying, "It kills me slowly, day by day. I need to find somewhere to clean my thoughts, but I'm not happy at all. I still miss you the way it was before I threw my life away." Some fans interpreted that as a confession hidden in plain sight, while others said it was just emotional art. And it wasn't just the music. His live shows took a strange turn too. During an April 2025 BandLab performance, David broke down crying mid-song while performing Afterlife and couldn't finish it. Then again in June, he performed the same track and had another emotional breakdown on stage. It left fans shaken. Was it guilt, grief, or just the pressure finally breaking him down? Fans still can't agree. Were those emotional breakdowns pure grief, guilt, or both? Whatever it was, the sight left everyone completely stunned. When you piece everything together, the birthday song releases, the flower symbolism tied to loss, the invisible string theory, Celeste's voice appearing in his songs, and the onstage meltdowns, it paints a chilling picture that many say doesn't look like coincidence at all. To some, it feels like obsession frozen in music forever. That's where the darkest online theory takes hold, one suggesting that after Celeste's disappearance, David may have hidden what happened and tried to erase the evidence by leaving her in a car that he thought would be destroyed. Some even speculate he wanted people to find the truth through his art, as if he left breadcrumbs for the world to uncover. But beyond all the speculation, another question looms large. If David was truly spiraling, did the people closest to him notice the warning signs? Fans are now pointing fingers beyond just David. They're questioning whether his management, label, and team knew more than they admitted. If there were red flags, did they ignore them to protect their own careers? That's the theory flooding social media right now. And that's where the spotlight lands, on Josh Marshall, David's longtime manager. Authorities reportedly searched his home right after investigators confirmed Celeste's identity, which raised major suspicions. Why would they focus on the manager unless they believed there was more to the story? Fans online have claimed that Josh and the label might not have been as clueless as they seemed, that they were allegedly warned about Celeste's disappearance months earlier in 2024, but still kept things quiet. Whether those claims hold any truth or not, one thing's for sure. This story keeps getting darker, and every new piece of information makes the whole situation feel even more unsettling. If that's really true, then Josh can't act like he didn't know what was going on. Celeste wasn't just a random fan. She had already been reported missing, yet she was still showing up backstage at shows and hanging out around the crew. People in David's circle could easily tell she was way too young to be in that scene. The fact that she had to use fake IDs, couldn't even drive, and still appeared in event photos should have made someone step in. So why didn't anyone say something? The theory floating around online is that everyone turned a blind eye because the money was good and the fame was growing. Things get even sketchier after that. Once investigators searched David's rented apartment, reports claim Josh canceled the lease almost immediately. Fans saw that as a suspicious move, like he was trying to wipe the slate clean before the police could dig deeper. Then the label dropped David right after, almost as if they knew trouble was coming and wanted to protect themselves before the backlash hit. That's when Caleb's name popped up again. If he really is cooperating with investigators, it's possible they're not just focusing on David anymore. They could be looking at everyone tied to him: management, the label, even family. Some people think Caleb's sudden distance or cooperation might be his way of avoiding the fallout while Josh and the label fight to keep their names out of the headlines. At this point, it's clear. David's not the only one under scrutiny anymore. His entire circle is being questioned, and the deeper this case goes, the more it looks like this wasn't just one person losing control. It was a whole network built to protect him until the truth finally burst wide open. Make sure you like, share, and comment your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. See you in the next one.